I don't know about y'all, but me personally, I'm ready to be snuggled up on the couch with my little blankets, maybe a hot chocolate or apple cider, and romanticizing my life through my millionth rewatch of Gilmore Girls. Alright y'all, so as you can probably guess from the little intro there, today we are going to be doing a fall themed crochet video, and I'm just going to be talking about some of the projects that I have on my list to make this fall. I am going to be linking all of the patterns I mentioned here in the description box below, and I figured it'd be best to separate it into categories because I do have quite a few different items that I want to make. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the video. So the first thing on my fall makes list to finish up is my Sinners cardigan. If you've been following me over on my TikTok, you know I've been working on this project for about a month. Let me give a little visual. So I just finished the back piece yesterday, and I am so in love with it. So this is gonna be the back, and then the front panels are just gonna be black, like solid black, and then I am gonna do some pockets with a little bit of ribbing on either side of the sweater, and the ribbing is gonna be in red and blue. So in the film Sinners, there are these two twin characters that are our leads, Smoke and Stack, and their characters are represented by the colors red and blue. So I wanted to include that. And then the guitar here for the back piece is actually really relevant to our like secondary lead, Sammy. He is kind of on this journey of like wanting to become a musician, and his ties to like music and his craft are really strong, and so I feel like the guitar really embodies his character. I also just love the guitar, it's gorgeous, and so I wanted to incorporate that for the back of the sweater. The next pattern that I'm going to be making is the Market Cardi by What Morgan Makes. I already have one of these, and it is one of my favorite sweaters of all time. I think it's perfect for like the seasonal transition because it's like thick, but there's mesh, so it's still breathable. And one of my goals for the last quarter here, just the last portion of the year, is to use up all of my yarn, or a majority of my yarn, before buying more, because I regularly fall into the trap of buying way too much yarn, as per usual with fiber artists. So I want to use up some of my yarn and make a Market Cardi. I think I'm going to be making it in this green color that I have. And then, yeah, I'm really excited about that. Hi friends, editing Han here. So it looks like I got on kind of a one-track mind, and rather than splitting these projects up into categories, I split them by artist who created the pattern. So rather than doing like sweaters and then blankets, I mention one project and then just kind of keep popping around from there. So now that we're all on the same page, let's get back into the video. Continuing on with another pattern by Morgan, I just finished up this ripple cardigan earlier in the summer, and I'm absolutely obsessed with the little wavy pattern that it has going on, and I figured it'd be fun to modify the pattern a little bit and turn it into a throw blanket. So with that cardigan, I finished using up some of the colors I had in my stash from a temperature blanket that I made back in 2023, and I'm thinking of using up the rest of the warm colors from that project to make the throw blanket. I think it'll be a perfect like cozy staple for this coming fall and winter season, and I'm really excited to make that. So while we've kind of switched gears here, I want to mention a couple of beanies that I'm gonna make. Last year I followed a tutorial by EcoShoon. She has like a video where it's like a bunch of different like hat tutorials in one, and I made this green beanie. I wore it literally every day last winter and it kept me so warm, and it was such a simple pattern to follow. So I'm going to be making a couple more of those. A friend of mine who started learning how to crochet but didn't really vibe with it gave me a bunch of their yarn earlier in the summer, and they gave me this really pretty like variegated, I think it has like blue, yellow, and pink in it, and the base color is white. I think that would make such a gorgeous hat with this pattern, so I'm gonna be making one of those. And then probably like a solid gray. They also gave me this like really pretty like charcoaly kind of color, so I'm gonna be making those this year as well. Oh my goodness, my sweet girl. Hello. Continuing on our topic of tops and sweaters, I was scrolling through my Pinterest and I saw this photo the other day. I absolutely love the look of granny squares, but for whatever reason, I don't ever end up keeping or wearing my projects that have them. It just doesn't really feel like it fits into my style. But the slouchy look of this looks so comfortable and like oversized. So I think I'm gonna attempt to make this and see if this is the granny square project that sticks for me. This particular photo did not come with a pattern, but after doing some research, I found a pattern really similar for the Lily Granny Square sweater by Mrs. Moon and Heaven. So I'll be linking that down below if you want to check it out. And I think I'm going to do a crochet with me for this project specifically, just so I can take y'all along on what colors I pick and get my like live reaction to how the sweater turns out. So be on the lookout for that. And then another one that I want to work on to use up some of my stash is the Stay Toasty turtleneck by Made in the Moment. This just looks so warm and like the embodiment of wearing a blanket but make it fashion. I've had this on my makes list for probably a couple of years now, and so I think this would be a great time to get into that project, and I'm excited to see how that turns out. Another pattern that I've had on my list for forever, also by Made in the Moment, is their square up scarf. I am not particularly a scarf person, but lately I've been wanting to add more color into my wardrobe, and I think by making different kinds of accessories for the winter, that'd be a great way to add some pops of color, and also use up some more of my stash like I was saying. So I'm really looking forward to making that and seeing how it turns out. One more top here for our sweaters and tops segment. This is the mesh top by another YouTuber. I believe her name is Bruna. I love her videos. She's honestly like the queen of crochet to me. Between her channel and Tony from TL Yarn Crafts, I literally learned like everything that was foundational to me in my crochet journey. So I really appreciate having their videos to go back whenever I need like a point of reference for something. But this is her mesh top tutorial. I actually followed this last year to make a top for a trip to the apple orchard. Here's a picture of that. I really like it. It's super comfortable, and I think it's another good like transitional piece because it's nice and warm but still breathable because of the mesh. This one in particular, I didn't make to the best of my abilities. I think in true crochet fashion, I decided like the night before our trip to make this, and I finished it around like 1 a.m. and then I didn't end up getting any photos of me in it at the actual apple orchard. So this year I'm looking forward to making one that's constructed a little more nicely and probably in a colorway that I'd wear a bit more often. I have this really pretty dark purple and then a lavender that I think I'm going to be alternating for it this go round, and I'm really excited to see how that turns out. Alright y'all, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Also, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're working on this fall. Let me know if any of these inspired you to pick up a new project this fall. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, friends.